Hi everyone, welcome to Flourish Sussex Flower School online tutorials. Today I'm going to be giving you a quick tutorial about conditioning flowers. So why do we condition flowers? Simply because we want them to last as long as possible. Your flowers will be, if you've gone to the shop to get them, you don't know how long they've been sat in the shop for. If you've done a flower delivery and they've arrived, you need to prep them. It can sometimes be quite a time-consuming process, but it's definitely worth it, especially if you're doing flowers for sort of a big event. My flowers this week are really limited. It's Easter weekend. My wholesaler is not operating at the moment, so some of the flowers that I would quite like to show you how to condition I haven't got here today, but I will talk through the process, and I've gathered a selection of different things from my garden, and I will talk through sort of how you go about doing it. The most important thing, first of all, is to make sure if you're putting your flowers into buckets or if you're putting them into vases, whatever you're putting them into, it needs to be clean and the water needs to be fresh. If you've got flower food, pop it in. The flower food helps to clean it and feed the flowers. So do just pop it in there. If you haven't got any, don't worry. So all flowers, all foliage, you need to remove the lower leaves. Why? Because these leaves will still let off water, so we want to make sure whatever we're planning on using is getting the water and not these ones down here. So how you do that is with your hands, just simply go through like that. So you can buy rose strippers for roses. I've always been a bit reluctant because some of the rose strippers that you can get, they dig in to the stem of the rose, and any damage to the stem is going to prevent the life of the flower. But there is one, it's like a round yellow one with sort of like rubber little sort of nodules that I use, which is really good. I'll put a photograph of it on here because I haven't actually got it with me at the moment. But this is the same thing that you would do, and with roses you would snap off or use your rose stripper just to remove any thorns. And then you want to take your secateurs or your scissors and cut at a 45-degree angle so that they can drink. And that's the same that you do for all your bits and pieces. So remove any, have a look for anything that's damaged, and then cut. Now obviously flowers have different types of stems. Some are hollow, some are woody, some are really soft, and depending on your flower, if you take your conditioning extremely seriously, like what I just showed you, the very basics, that's the very least that you have to do. But if you want to ensure that they sort of really survive and you want to take care of them even more, there are different things that you can do. So woody stems, such as blossom branches and roses, are also classed as woody, as sort of woody stemmed flowers. They do benefit from being dipped in hot water. So if you just dip them in hot water for a little bit and then transfer them, it just sort of helps the flowers sort of just to live a little bit longer. You might have had that tip if your roses wilt as well. You can definitely try that. If I haven't got any hollow stem flowers, have I? No. If you've got any hollow stem flowers such as delphiniums, you can put the water up the stem and then plug it with some cotton wool and put an elastic band around it, and again that will just help it to drink even more. And then some flowers that have hollow stems that have a really big flower head, such as the amaryllis, you might even need to sort of prop it up. So you can put a bamboo stick sort of right up the stem as well, and that will help it. These are all sort of tips just to help make sure that your flowers live for as long as possible. But as I said, the most important thing is to cut your stems and then place them into a nice clean vase. And although this process does take quite a while, especially if you're doing sort of wedding flowers, it's a really important process to go. So make sure your vessel, whatever you're putting in, is clean, water, flower food, 45-degree angle, remove all lower leaves and stems.